Someone at my dinner table last month asked me if I trained in France. I smiled and I said, let's just say I know some things. What I did not say was that dinner started with a $9 rotisserie chicken and a jar of refrigerated Alfredo sauce. And tonight, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get away with it. Every episode of Fake It Till You Feast starts with a trade or a shortcut. Now today's trade is going to be a few ingredients that you grab in one grocery run for a dinner that looks like it cost you 5 hours and a culinary degree to make. 1 rotisserie chicken, some baby spinach. We have Mediterranean rub and seasoning by Salt Sisters, one of my personal favorites. Some Italian herbs, and I'm using Rana refrigerated Alfredo sauce, okay? It's refrigerated as opposed to the one you buy in the jar. Refrigerated sauce always tastes like it's more from scratch. We have an egg, we've got some minced garlic, some puff pastry, and this one's gluten-free because I'm gluten intolerant. We've got some white wine, some unsalted butter, and then we've got a brick of Parmesan cheese that we're going to shred ourselves. Always shred it yourself. You'll thank me for it later. And what all this becomes? Chicken Florentine Bake. Puff pastry lid, creamy spinach sauce, Parmesan, and one move that makes the whole thing taste like you spent all afternoon in the kitchen. You didn't, but nobody needs to know that. Here's why Florentine is one of the most powerful words in the aspirational host's vocabulary. It sounds trained. It sounds intentional. It makes people think you know things because you do. Florentine just means there's spinach in it. Yep, that's it. That's the secret. There's spinach in it. But the way you build it, the way you layer it, the way it comes out of the oven, it doesn't look like a spinach casserole in a dish. It looks like something you learned from someone's grandmother in Lyon. And that's exactly what we're going for. All right, let's build this thing. We start by pulling the chicken off the bones. I like to go for the thighs and the breasts. Okay, so again, we're pulling the chicken. We're not going to cut it. The only reason I have a knife is in case I couldn't get it off the bone or get the bones apart. Pulled chicken holds sauce better and reads as rustic and intentional. There's a difference between I didn't have time and I knew what I was doing. This is the second one. We're going to put a little butter in here, get that going. Now we're going to start putting some of this spinach in there. Now I took the time to chop it up because I myself like smaller pieces. Oh yeah, that's what we want. See that color? See that dark green? That's what we're looking for. That's Florentine. Add a little dollops of garlic in here. Let's stir that in. Okay, you ready for this? This is the move. Here we go. Let that reduce a little bit. A splash of dry white cooking wine. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just something clean. Why? Because here's the thing that nobody tells you. A splash of wine in your sauce, in this case white, is the single fastest way to make something taste like it took you all day. It adds acidity, depth, and the kind of a complexity that makes people tilt their head and go, what is that? I'm gonna let that reduce for just about a minute. You'll see it go from sharp and boozy to something silkier. And then that's your cue. Time for the Alfredo. There we go. That looks good. Let's get that folded in there nicely. All right, next goes the chicken. Fold that in there. This smells delightful. Now, our seasoning. Get that in there. Look at that. Just adds texture and color. Ooh, look at that. Now, we need the silkiness. That is where this comes in. Grate it right into the pan. Again, you'll thank me for it later. Now that's gonna melt and it's just gonna get silky and help thicken that up just a little bit. And that is all it's gonna need into your baking dish. And then you just wanna kind of spread it all around. Okay, next we've got the puff pastry. We're just gonna tuck that right in there. Look at that. Like we're putting it to bed. Make it nice and cozy. Nobody at your table is going to believe this came from a store freezer. And you don't have to tell them either. Before this goes into the oven, it's time for the egg wash. Don't skip this. This is what turns cute casserole into, she's definitely got a culinary background. 1 egg, a splash of water, mix it up, and then we're gonna brush it over every inch of this pastry. This gives you that golden lacquered finish that people love to take photos of. There will inevitably be somebody at your table who grabs their phone. Now the dish goes in the oven. While this is in the oven, let me tell you what we just did. Chicken Florentine with a puff pastry crust from scratch is a 5-hour project easy. You'd be roasting a whole chicken, you'd be making a bechamel from butter and flour and a whole lot of patience. And a puff pastry, don't get me started on that. From scratch, that's an entire afternoon of folding cold butter into dough over and over and over before you've even turned on the oven. We just did all of that in 15 minutes of actual work. The rotisserie chicken handled the roasting. The Rana Alfredo handled the sauce. The frozen puff pastry handled the lamination. And we just skipped to the good part. This is what the Fake It Till You Feast and Shortcut Pantry system is built on. Not cutting corners, but knowing which corners were never worth the trip in the first place. So we've got about 25 minutes. Gonna go set the table, put on some music, pour some wine. Cheers. Okay, the timer has gone off. Now your guests don't know at this point, and they don't need to know, that the oven has been doing all the heavy lifting. Let them think you've been in here all day. That's what this channel is about. Not the recipe, not the strategy, the knowledge, the lore. This is the moment at the table when the room goes quiet. When someone reaches for their phone to snap a photo. When someone says, "Did you really make this?" And you smile and you say, "Let's just say I know some things." Here we go. I don't know if you can hear this crisp. The top of it's just crispy. Here we go. Look at that. Oh. We're gonna do a little sprinkle of some herbs here, and then we're gonna do one last pass with that Parmesan. Look at that. All right, here's the moment that matters. Oh my gosh. There's only one thing to say. Chicken Florentine Bake. 1 rotisserie chicken, 45 minutes, and a dinner table full of people who are gonna think you trained in France. You're welcome. Now, if you wanna be able to pull this off any night of the week, not just when you've watched a tutorial, I'm building something for you. It's called the Shortcut Pantry System. The idea is simple. I teach you exactly which ingredients to keep on hand, as well as what to do with them, how to use them, so you can pull off dinners like this any night with almost no planning. The waitlist is open now. Link is in the description, but if you comment the word lore below, I'll send it to you directly. And if you liked getting away with this today, you're gonna love what's inside, because that's what we do here. We share the lore. Subscribe if you want more of this. New episodes every Tuesday, and I'll see you at the table.